Okay, I think I'm set up enough. Let's just get into it. Yeah, I wanted to make a quick stream here. Just verifying it's good. Yep. Okay. And the stuff I wanted to continue because I got too tired yesterday to finish off kind of this flow of what I was doing. Also, since I'm pretty new to Twitch, I forgot that there's a setting that you have to do to export VODs, and so I want to have that set up so that I can at least have the VODs saved, and then I can also export them back to YouTube later, because then they'll be in both places. I think that's pretty cool. So I want to verify that works later. But first things first, we're going to get back into the good old stuff here with my map. So I think I got to the point where I have this overlap, which I'm not going to actually do anything yet with, because I just want to first get things down. The thing that I have to do is first match a room, or get the rotation that I will need to get a room to its proper spot. So I know this door from distance from center value. And the basic premise of that is that that's the distance from center. So like, say I have this room and I have my other room. Say, no, this, to a human it doesn't make sense as much, but the computer, I have this door that I'm trying to match to, but I've selected this door at random, right? So I know that the distance to center is going to be 12 because this whole thing is 24. So, but it's 12 in the Y. And so what I actually need to do is make it so that this corner here would get rotated so that it would be over here. And in essence, the 0, 12 would become a negative 12, comma 0 on those values because it has to go to the left. And I would have to rotate it to the left 90 degrees. And so with that in mind, what I want to do is be able to figure out what my rotation that is needed. There's a couple ways of doing this. I think there's the contemplation that I had is obviously there's going to be some ability for these things to not be correct, but I'm going to first of all just assume that they are correct for now. I'll put in validation later to make sure that they stay correct. But the goal then after that would be so that just to assume right now that they're going to be correct. So they're going to be a solid direction. They're not going to be like 45 degrees or some crap like that. But to do that, I can do I do float dot of my angles, and I would do picking the dot, which would be the door connection dot transform dot forward. I'd have to put this in the method, sorry. In a vector 3 dot No, not down, dot. And then I would also put in the prefab potential connection forward. Dot transform dot forward. Okay, and so if I do that, that'll give me a value between -1 and 1. Now I'm pretty sure if it's -1, I actually don't need to do anything at all, because -1 means that they're inversed, right? So this one's facing that way, like that would be like this door and this door were chosen, right? They're a perfect match. I literally just need to take this distance from center, and that's where I spawn in, basically. So it'd be door location, I think, minus distance from center. Because just thinking about this, if this is the potential door location, right? I need to offset that distance, but the distance that I have here is going to be -12. So I need to go. So let's just handle that situation first. If dot equals -1. Now it is a little bit sketchy to do that because it is float. I just do, there's like a float approximately, I think. Float dot approximately. I thought there was an approximate check, but I don't know. We'll just do hard equals, even though it's bound to bite me in the butt at some point. So if it equals 1, I guess I could cast it to an int. That would probably be the best way. Just force it to be a non-float value. So int, and then make this int as well. Int dot. And then I might as well make this a switch, just because why not? Switch dot. So they made like a new, better version of base -1. I can't remember, they like made a nicer way of making switch cases. But I have since forgotten exactly how to write those. I'm gonna do the old way until maybe it lets me know that there's a new way. But this isn't Rider, so I doubt it would. So case -1. So this is, again, the opposite way. So that in this case, I know that the location I need to spawn it, I should make a vector 3 position to spawn, and yeah, I'll make it by default this, sure. And I also will need a quaternion as well. Quaternion rotation to spawn, and this will be quaternion identity, basically no rotation. So that's the default, but in case 1, I will take position. I don't need to adjust the rotation because it's fine as is. Like, the rotation is actually perfect. But the position to spawn is going to be equal to, I guess I'll make the default location this potential door location. And then all I need to do is go minus equals distance from center. Distance from center. And then I can take this guy and I can replace that in there, and then this in here. Okay. So now that I got that first case, now I need to handle the other cases. Maybe I do case 1 next. That's pretty much case 0 is fun. Is it seriously? Okay, 1 second. I need to fix something. How do I tools options? Who's putting spaces instead of tabs? Text editor, general. Wait, enable mouse click to perform go-to definition if I hold control. Is that actually a thing? I need to check that in a minute. But first I just need to maybe C#. I don't care about word wrap. Model list member, line numbers, duplication. Automatic brace completion. Fine. General. I guess it was in general. Okay. Tabs. All right. Keep tabs. Ah, damn. There we go. No spaces in my world. I just wanted to check one more thing. There's a way. Enter key. Never add new line on enter. Only add new line on enter after fully typed word. Actually, I think I like that. Always add new line. Yeah. Because it screws up intelligence otherwise. Then include snippets when code style. I don't know if I want to get into this level of thing. I should know all languages. There's one thing that like I thought they used to have, which is when I wrap something in what is word wrap? Does that actually tell me what it is? Basically, I wanted to wrap things in braces. And they used to have, I thought, something like that. That, like, if I wrap something in braces and then press, like, one of the brace cards, automatic brace completion. The difference between the black and that, anyways. I don't think I like word wrap. It's like yeah, it doesn't look like they have the option to do that. Because yeah, like when I do, for example, this, just replaces it instead of wrapping it in braces, which is unfortunate. It would be cool if they actually had that option. Nice. Okay, I'm just gonna click on this and just see. Yeah, okay, that's not what it is. So let's just enable virtual space. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to do, okay, so if I go, it's okay. If I go, oh, okay, that's actually quite nice, you know. I actually need to go view. Is there like a go back? Go to the previous issue and file, alt page up. Is that? I don't think it's actually going back to where I was. I don't know if that's doing what I want to do. Basically, I was just looking to Command Shift Backspace. Is that like it? So it's like I was changing something. Okay, backspace. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's kind of a hefty keyboard shortcut. I guess it's fine. Keep it for now. Just allows me to navigate a little bit quicker. Okay. Anyways, back to actually coding. Okay, so in this case, it's not giving me. Oh, it is. Okay, wait, can I fix formatting? Add default case. There's not. Okay. I'll add the default case eventually, but I was hoping it would give me like the hey, there's this cooler way of doing switches now, but no, it does not want to let me do that. Okay, so the case one. So this means that they are aligned, right? So it would be like this drawer and this door are the ones that are chosen. And so in this case, I would need to fully rotate it. So fully rotate 180 degrees. And then essentially do the same thing as this, but since this value, this distance from center is going to be inversed, I would add it instead of subtracting it. So we'll take position to spawn first. We'll do that first. Okay, why do you want to indent so much? That doesn't make any sense that you want to be that indented. Okay. And so we're going to go plus equals, and then why? I don't understand why you need to be double indented for this. You're already indented once. You're really fine. Then I'm going to go rotation to spawn will equal to Quaternion dot Euler of, this is just the, yeah, so 0 comma 180 comma 0. So flip. This is gonna drive me mad. I need to fix it. Where is thing in coding style that talks about their automatically comment block? This indent case labels. Screw that. Okay, this is, I guess. There we go. I think that's okay. Now if I, okay, so let's just specify. Sweet. Okay, now you're good. Okay. So now I have the case 1 and -1. Now there's case 0. This is the funnest of the cases because I don't actually know if it's 0, if it's this one or this one. But the way I figure that out is I will handle the, put a big sign in there. You can handle that by just checking door connection. No, actually, no, I can't. So I was thinking I was going to just check the Y value of my potential door connection, but I actually can't because obviously I'm thinking of it now as like, oh, this one or this one. But hypothetically, if I was looking at this doors down, I would be looking at this one and this one. So how do I verify that? I guess I could dot their transform dot right, and then I would get another negative, right? That would probably work. All right, so what I'm thinking of is, say I have this guy and this thing, right? He has a right there. And that's local, right? So his right is like that, but then this guy's right is like that, right? So they're different, which would mean that if I am comparing the right of, say, this one by verifying I guess their right with the other things forward, I would know comparatively which one it is. I think. Maybe asking a little much, but that's at least what I think could happen. Whether or not that's, I can, so I would know that forward, if it's one in that case, it would be down, and if it's, would be left of it, and then if it's negative one, would be right of it. Right? Looking kind of this guy forward, right? So if I compare this forward, that would mean left if it's one, and again, if it's negative, that would mean it's right. And negative would mean I need to rotate this thing. The room be negative 90, I assume? Or 90. It would be 90 degrees. It would be to the right. And then negative 90 would be to the left. Gonna hard to visualize this in a completely symmetric room, but that would be what it is. So why don't I just play around with this one as the example? Just no longer by snapping. Save to local. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So if I'm like trying to get the top, I would rotate negative 90. Yeah, and then if I was trying to get to the bottom, I would rotate 90. And that would be right or left. Okay. I think that works. I'll have to figure out how I need to translate the movement. It's basically, in essence, you'd add one and subtract. You'd add the x or subtract the y, or vice versa on these zero cases. But yeah, first I would dot the, can I just use the same dot? I don't really think I need the value anymore after this. I'll just make, hold this like horizontal dot. Horizontal dot. Okay. And in this, I'm dotting still the connection forward, but the prefab connection right. And to do that, so now I have another thing which I need to switch. Basically, it's going to be doing this. I'll have a 0 and a 1, and I won't have there will be basically no chance that this is anything but -1 and 1, because I've already established that this is 0 here. So it means that the right has to be either -1 or 1. I'm pretty sure. I guess there could be the situation where someone's made like their forwards, if they have a y direction. But again, that's going to be validated. I'm going to validate that. I'm just going to assume that's not the case here. I'll probably still have to make some default logging just in case, but I'll do that after I actually get this to work. Okay, so like I said, the negative is left and the positive is right. So then the positive, that's 90, and then this is -90 or 270, but I just -90 more direct. And then position to spawn, distance from center, position to spawn, door, distance from center. Right, so let's just do a minute and think about this. Okay, so in the situation that this top one, right, if I was on the top, and this is rotating left, right, so then I had to rotate it -90 to move it in the right direction, right? Okay, so I move it -90 and I rotate it, and that goes from, all right, I keep saying a z value, but it would be like a 6 z value, and it would turn that into a negative. Oh, actually, I have to flip them, right? Yeah, so turn a positive z value into a negative x value. So I would actually, okay, so I'd probably make it, so instead of minus, would I just minus it and subtract it again, or minus and plus it? Sure. Not sure if I'm supposed to minus it or subtract it here, but I do. Okay, I'm gonna make this a new vector 3, in which the x and y's are reversed. So instead of, basically, I would be taking door distance from center dot z, comma 0, comma dot x. I guess I can keep the y here. I don't know if I want to necessarily, but it probably keeps it more consistent. I'm basically swapping the z and the x, and I am minusing it. Which does make sense if I'm taking it over here. And this is going to be a negative number, so it's going to be inversed, right? So in that case, maybe I do want that one to be adding same way. And then I still think though it inverses the values. So let's just try that and see how it works out for us. The only thing I don't like about this right now is it's so random that it might be hard to debug, but eventually I'm going to have to put seeding into here, I think. So let's see how that goes. I think it should technically work now, though. Let's see how this does. I have room for fabs. I'm going to have overrides here. No, okay. I'm going to select that in the scene. I'm going to go back over to level manager hub. I'm going to drag my room in here. I'm going to drag, say, room count. Let's just go real crazy. Okay, say like 16 rooms. Map unit size, yeah, buffer size there. The last thing I do want to do here is I just want to make a common root. So game object map root is going to equal new game object. I'm going to call it map root. And then I can do this at the bottom. I add it to the list spawned. I'm going to get, say, spawned dot transform dot parent equals this dot parent map root dot transform. Okay. So let's see how this works. Unity's compiling. That's not enough. Okay. So let's just make sure it's actually fully up to date. Seems like it. Okay. That's what happens when we run. I've got a lot of rooms. Now, definitely some rooms are weirdly placed there. But I've got some rooms. So it's just okay. Prefab. Just gonna take all the prefab world stuff, all the prefabs here. Take all of you, put you in here in the prefab world. That I can hide you and then click play. Okay, interesting. So, I guess, okay, so the way I can actually look at this. Or is there one that got spawned outside of the root? Kind of interesting. That's the first one. Was this? Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, there we go. Need to put this. Yeah. So that was the first one. But then, okay, so that was the first one. This is the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. Then it goes seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, 10th one, 11th one, 12th one, 14th one, 16th one, 17th one, 18th one. Okay. So it seems to me that you have failed in a certain direction. But I know so I know I can go down properly, and that works. Maybe is it going up? Do a quick few more runs. Yeah, I think it definitely suffers when going up. But then it does do some okay, right? Hmm. I might in this one want to keep the int just so that I can if I keep the int, I can then like link the two, because I will need to do this eventually. I will need to link them, right? And right now, obviously, they're not getting linked. Like you can see, I show all the connection points. None of these things are linked, right? But if I did that, I could actually see, like, to some degree, where the things are going wrong. So obviously, some part of my math is wrong, where occasionally it'll only move. Doesn't seem to happen. Horizontally, which is interesting. So it only seems to apply on the Z axis. The Z axis going up too, which is kind of weird. Because instead of going see door connection. The potential for location is transformation position transformed up forward and to the right? So why would that not impact So basically would have to why um, why don't I just make it less things? It might be a little bit easier just to debug. Okay, so 4, 45, 4. I kind of should be able to tell by obviously the doors that are chosen. Okay, so it just probably went up, right, up, right, okay. Left, right, left, right. Okay. Obviously that's not having the bounds thing, but we haven't built that in yet, so it's understandable why that wouldn't be working. Okay, so this one actually is fine. Going up, which seems to be the one that has the most problems. So going up, and then left, and then right. Okay. Negative 80, 180, 190, 0. Okay. Do it again. I'm basically just trying to redo this until I get that situation where there we go. This is what I want to see. And it's actually going down, which is perfect. Because it kind of proves out that things are not so great. Okay. So my map route is 180. This is 90. It's also 90. That. Oh wait. So this is 0 because this and this. So I'm assuming though, as I do have to assume that the system like what should be happening is instead of spawning it, look, it's spawning it right there, right? Yeah. It's spawning it in the center. Instead of doing that, it should be doing this. Or actually this. I need to move my checkers over so that it works nicely on this. But yeah, that would be where I should be spawning it. It's basically the opposite on the Z. And this thing was negative 90 to this 180, right? So that does imply that it was a 90-degree turn. Actually, is it? Because no, again, it doesn't matter what this rotation is because I'm using the local rotation of the door that I'm trying to fix. But yeah, it is a 90-degree rotation, which means that I'm falling into this category. Specifically, I'm this one, and I am making the Z. Do I have to like negative the Z in here to keep the X positive? Maybe that's it. We'll see. Let's. And then maybe I have to negative the X here. See if that fixes that. That's the first time I've seen that, but because I can actually tell by the rotation this thing has the outcome that it had. Okay, so there we go. That's looking better. Okay, now let's just and buff this back up to let's go all the way to 20. See. No, okay. So still having something fail, but oh man, it just gets into some interesting offsets. So the first and 90, so negative 90. So I'm doing this one, right? And my x is improper. It actually is the z value here. So this is actually incorrect. Oh wait, yeah, okay, no. Maybe it was the opposite, so maybe I'm supposed to do the opposite negatives. Okay, see if that does anything. I think I'm finally getting how to debug this properly though. Oh man, that is a whole lot of worse. Okay. Jeez, okay. Let's just try this again. So this one goes to this one, which is actually kind of fine, which goes to this one, which then goes to this one, which is not so fine. Okay. This actually like a number? Oh, no, okay. This is basically 0. Okay. So it's saying negative 12. When in reality, it should be probably negative 24. No, 24 wouldn't even do it. It'd have to be negative 36. Okay, I guess then that makes sense because they're probably saying the potential location is 24, and then I should have gone and minused it. In the 90 situation, I should be negativing this. Instead of adding. Maybe, because what if I... I'm just going to minus both of them for now and see. That fixes. Okay. So I want to look at this guy. So he is 0. This guy is 180, which is actually fine. And then there's this one next. Okay, so this one is negative 90. So this one. Supposed to be then plus here. Unreal trial and error in this. Maybe not the smartest, but my guess is it's probably one or the other. Yeah, it still has issues. Yeah, so there's so obviously the X, I assume so X goes up. Okay, so Wait, so this one goes into this one, which goes into this one. Okay, so see that this one going into this one is wrong. Right, so this is negative 90. So this case, the x is incorrect. Basically be the inverse. So maybe do that, and then experiment with doing that is negative. And not great. Okay. So this one goes into this one, which goes into this one, which is actually fine. Then goes into this one. Then 0 to 90. Having a z value that's incorrect. So I'm again on that train, and then this is 0. Negative 90, that actually is fine. Okay, so let's revisit this. 90 is fine going on, negative 90 is fine going on the x now. Okay, seemingly. We'll verify that out. But 90 is not okay going in the x right now. Maybe it is also, is it, I think I just removed the Z there. So is it like this? I guess that would be the reverse because I'm doing opposite directions there. Do I actually compile? Okay. Okay. Ooh. I see no overlaps. See no overlap. I like seeing no crushed ones at least. Okay. I feel like I have solved that. That part. So next comes, I think, the overlap part. So so yeah, because what obviously still is happening, at least to a decent degree, is that maps are going to overlap. So 1, 2, 1, and then it goes over here, and then this is a duplicate, right? So it's covering over an existing map, right? So there's now 2 there, which is not so good. I prefer that to not be the case. So I should make a better version of canvas map grid thing. I could probably do this in like a shader. I don't want to get distracted with this right now, so I'm gonna go to the grid. Let's just go and move the position over 3 and 3. Oh, no, not 1. 3. There you go. I mean, obviously, it's not going to really affect much of here anymore. But not nearly big enough. But whatever. I might just hide it. Okay, so back to overlaps. So I built in the system to deal with that, but I haven't implemented yet. Okay. Just take a look at that guy. So, now that I've gotten the position to spawn, I would actually, yes, I need to. I want to just connect them first. Actually, removing the connections would actually make it so that it's less possible. Yeah, because what happens is when I'm spawning the thing, the new room still has a reference to a door back, right? So that that's letting this give something that's actually not allowed. So just by doing that, I actually will fix a lot of them, but there's still going to be situations where I can, but this would actually stop a lot of them before I even have to get to the check part. So let's do that whole thing. Okay, so so what I want to maybe do here is check. But I like do one that out and remove index. I could just cache the index there. It's probably something nice to do. So I'll say with index. And in this case, I'm just gonna go. Do I out the value or the index? Let's out the value. T value, and then I'm gonna go int. So I'm gonna return the index. Return -1 in this case, and then that you equals default of t, and then in here I will set instead of output, I will just set value to be equal to this. Okay. Then I have that version. I go map generator, and in this actually I could, instead of this, actually don't want to remove it. I could just go get random with index. Because I don't really want to remove it. I want to just get random with its index. And then I don't do the remove part. Okay. Yeah. Then I do that. So in this one, prefab, yeah. So this is going to change into an int. Remove potential index. equals that, and then I'm gonna go out that. Get random with index. Yep. And the reason why I'm going to do that, I actually no longer need to add this one, but I do actually need to add this. Because potentially I might, if I need to go through doors, I don't want to use the same index. We'll just do this for now, and then when I get into the overlap, I'll do that. Actually, don't need to add it back yet. I'm going to change that as well to the previously spawned room dot door locations add range holding cache. Okay. In this case, I'm going to assume that probably if it's bad, the room is not okay at that location, so I would go back to this place. I think that's probably fine. Although, like, yes, obviously there's some times where the room would be fine, but most of the time I think like it's not worth like rotating through all possibilities of this room to handle that way. So instead of doing that, I'm going to go and make the holding cache, and then all right. So I've got the spawn, right? So when I spawn something, what I want to do is I want to go spawned dot door locations dot remove at int index, potential index. Okay. So I want to remove it. I actually do though want to as well before removing it. I want to get it. Have my navigation point door connection here. Do I need to? I don't need to use them yet. I might just go and just add them to connections. I think that should be fine because if there's a one-way connection, that means the monster never will backtrack like halfway through. So even if he's like, "Oh, there's another one right there," it's right. I'm already there. I'll just instantly process. I think it should be okay. There might like be a frame delay that I have to deal with later, but if it is, I'll fix it. The door connections. So what I'm going to do is take this door connection. Yeah, so I guess there could be a situation the previously spawned room has actually no door locations because it's been removing them. In that case, then I'll just like pick a random room. I'll just go back into the spawned rooms, right? I can just go spawn rooms and then grab the next one. I go back until I find one that has options and set that as the previously spawned. That should be okay. I'll do that later though. What was I doing? Okay, so the thing I wanted to do here as well is I was going to go navigation point to link equals spawned dot door locations potential index, and then I guess I could just go, and then can I go, what is it? Or is it navigation point dot link or something? Link, yeah. Points, okay. And then so I'm going to link to link and door connection. I link those, and then I'm going to remove it from the door locations, so it no longer has a possible door. Okay, let's see how much just doing that fixes. Huh. Good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not quite 16. So there's some stall overlap. Boom, boom. Yeah, this, and then does it do the loop? Like, no, it goes back. Okay. That's interesting. So that shouldn't be happening, but it is. So this one I actually kind of expected because of the no overlap checks. And yeah, that one's kind of expected. Yeah, because it kind of loop, but it was this one going into here, going into there, going into here. This should not be possible. I thought. Well, so let's just go show my navigation. Right. Okay. So. Right, so this one goes into this one. There's two of them, right? So oh, that's interesting. So I see. So one of the problems with me having set up this as all symmetrical things is that it's harder to see when this happens, where a door. This guy again was up here. When he came and spawned in here, so he spawned here, and then he spawned next to him, and the door that actually got connected was this one. Actually should have been the other one. Oh, do I rotate these the wrong way? I might be rotating the wrong way. Okay. Let's try that. This might be 90. This might be negative 90. It shouldn't affect the door distance calculation. But it would make sense why there's now some overlap situations, because it's not effectively taking away the right door. Okay, see how that. So 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Damn. I actually perfectly made it. Again, it's not going to always do that, but then just by having that logic in does, I think, dramatically slow down the ability for it to do those overlaps. Again, this one is probably not. So this is 12, 15, 16. Yeah, so it's definitely smaller. But we can just add that overlap system, and then it should handle all of this. Okay, so this, here, goes to here, goes to here. Oh wow, it's doing some loops. It's doing some loop-de-loops here. Yeah, so because okay. So I don't have too much more time because about 50 more minutes is when we will wake up. So let's just try to get that overlap in, and then I think we're gonna call it there. But you know, just having that is pretty cool. Let's work on the overlap. So the overlap part comes in, and I'm not gonna try this whole part. I might need to loop. Google um, success equals now the only thing I'm thinking about here is if the success fails all 4 times, right? So most of the times I feel like I should be able to find some sort of way out. But you could find a situation like say when I was building these, we go like build this one, then build this one, and build this one, then 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 you build this one, and then I build this one. This one actually has no possibility of creating something at that point, right? Because it's completely surrounded. At that point, I guess I go back, but how do I mark this one as? Because I would only have basically a connection there. I would not have a connection here or here or here, which I think I would still want to do later. Maybe like I have a bool where I mark it as like no more options. Like I have a little bool for has placement options, and once I've figured out that it has none, then I mark it away, and then I can better find the next one that has more options. That's probably a decent option. Now again, I do have to convey that like it might only be out of options for a specific room, right? Like, so if the room that I take is like a gigantic room for some reason, and I'm trying to like, hey, like this room technically has like this space, right? Or something. So you could place something there if it's a normal sized room, but then I take a gigantic room, it's not going to be able to fit there. And then I might be marking this one as bad. When it really just has to do with the prefab. No. Probably some fine tuning where maybe I should be. Instead of like get random, there would probably be maybe some logic about like get random available, and I'd have some sort of ability to kind of test the door connection that I want to do. Yeah, that's going to get a lot more complicated. So I basically have to, before I get the prefab, actually test the area. So I'd actually have to know, so I guess like this one I would get random, but then this one I would actually have like some parameters. So like must be smaller than this. And then if I get none, then I know it's not available. But then basically for each time I have to pull all of these if they're the correct size. A huge fan of that either, though. But it's probably the better long-term solution in that I can actually get something that would fit into the spot. It's just whether or not I could get like a random one that fits. Get random that fits is what I would do. It also fit is kind of like a subjective in that the fact of it have to be multiple rotations, right? Obviously even just like a rectangle, right? Rectangles would maybe fit, like a rectangle would fit this way, but it would not fit up and down, right? And it could maybe fit on a specific door, but it would not fit on the other doors. Hmm. I hate generate world bounds. I'm gonna make a test world bounds, and those will be what I make this equal to. So that when I'm testing, I am not like making an array. But yeah, how do I just make this simpler for now? Yeah, let's just go first with the marked bad. Because like if it's constrained enough that one doesn't work, it's yes, not always indicative that none will work, but I think it's better than just saying that it will never work, right? So public bool exhausted all placement options, or I'll call it map generator. And this is going to be a property, so get set. Okay. And then, so in this, we are going to have this loop. So while success equals false, okay, that's really cool. But yeah, okay, so while success is false, I'm going to be looping basically, yeah, this entire thing, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe I only loop this part. Yeah, and then I guess I gotta move some things up because those things gotta come out. And again, I'm gonna equal this back, I guess, to just nothing. But I guess then we'll just have it equal to vector 3.0, and then position to spawn will be, I'll set it to be equal to potential door location. Once that, and then potential index again as well. Remove that out. Equals 0. So I'll make it equal -1. Just if potential index is greater than 0, greater or equal to 0. That means it actually got a value. So yeah, just all these back here. Okay. So I actually want to keep this, and I want to put this in here, I think. I'm going to put success there, just visually. Okay, so these are the things I need to get, basically. This is the success. Value that I'm going to pop out of the while loop. I'm going to take my dot, basically. Once I have this position to spawn, with this rotation to spawn, oh god, I have to apply a rotation to the bounds. Ooh. I already know that rotation is rotating these back. I mean, it's not as bad as it seems because I can kind of just convert them, but it's converting a lot of values. Also, rotating around the center of the object, where these bounds, the x and the y, are not going to be like that. Right, so the x, because the x position of my bounds thingies are always on the bottom left instead of the center. Which is annoying. Oh, hey Hassan. Thanks for the follow. You've been watching this whole time? Or did you just drop in? Trying to figure out this whole bounds thing because the rotation is gonna really mess stuff up. Oh, sweet. Well, I mean, I've got some rooms to spawn, so that's cool, right? Like I can click this thing and it. Oh, now I'm gonna get an error. Cool. Well, that ruins the point of showing you anything. But yeah, no, a minute ago I had room spawning in a relatively decent ability. I'm just now trying to like make sure that they don't spawn over top of already existing rooms, and that's gonna have some fun times. So yeah, how about you, man? How are you doing? Getting because door connections don't. This be out here. And set this to be that. Does that fix the, okay, that fixes the iron. Now it's still gonna not work because there's some stuff that I was doing here that's not gonna like it. So door connection adds to this. I actually only want that to happen in the situation that this is a failure. So if at the end, if I have not made if, yes, so if it's not a success, which I'll need to figure out how to judge that, I'm going to add it. But if it is a success, I don't want to have to do that. So this will only actually then encompass failed stuff. And then that will, that part. But I also need to make it always a success right now, because otherwise it's not going to work. So let's just, for now, just to make sure this actually works again, success equals true. Wow, that is a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That basically does pretty good, I think. Still maybe down here. Let's see. Yeah, it probably screws up here somewhere. It goes here. Yeah, it goes up. Goes here. Goes here. Then that's a duplicate. But then otherwise, pretty good. Okay, so yeah, so the thing with the success, I think so the success at this point is fine. I found my location. The thing is that I need to test if it's going to be a success. So the success would actually equal to what is it? I need to generate some bounds. So the Rex yeah, so I'd have my rect int potential bounds. Which would equal to my prefab dot generate world bounds for position. Position to spawn. Again, I'm gonna have to eventually figure out the rotation, but at least for now, because I have a uniform room, that's fine. And then I need to go success equals true at this point, but then I need to do a for each loop. For each, and go through all of my spawned rooms. So spawned room in, did I just go spawned rooms? Yeah. And if room dot check overlap of potential bounds. If there is an overlap, I think that's actually how it works, right? So if returns true if there is an overlap, yeah. So if there is an overlap, then I'm going to say success equals false. And I'm going to break out of this. Then effectively I would do something like that. That should be okay. Now the other situation is previously spawned door locations um, is empty. Or wait, no. It has no more door locations to spawn in. So I'll get out right now for that. Dot is null or empty. So if it's empty, I'll stop it for now. Which because I won't have the time for making it. I'll like back out and grab the proper one. That should at least handle. Nope. It'll give me a null wrap. That's what it'll do. 67. My door connection can be null. Interesting. Yeah. It's not actually null or empty. So yeah, it must have been door connection that was null. And it should be or, it should be and. All success is false and it is not null or empty. Let's try that again. How many rooms did I get through before that happened? Okay, that's actually interesting. Well, that's interesting. It's not a very unique map. Interesting map. Gonna create rooms that are wow. Why? Like pick a direction and keep going there. That is so. Like can do that, but it seems like it's very rare. It's skewing the direction it's going to allow to go in quite heavily. Why would that be? So it's like spawning here. It's getting the next one. So on this one, it spawned it. Obviously, yup, and that one's not gonna work. But of these, I should have these three possibilities. So why would the bad or the improper location work, right? That's kind of the question I'm trying to figure out is why is the up and down so unlikely to pass validation? Like it must be Oh, wait, so potential. The position to spawn should actually be the world bounds, right? So unless these. Goddamn. Okay, I want to go this. Alright, I totally realized that if I'm still creating this every single time. So if test world bounds equals null, then I'll create it. But something going on here. Right now, it's definitely not correct. Of course, I didn't actually do it. Like, basically, will never wrap around. Like, sometimes go up. Actually, what the hell happened here? Okay, so how did you come to be? Do you want this up here, then there, then there, then there, then there, then there, then there, then there? So somehow this one thought that that was a applicable door, which seems kind of weird because why does it still have 3 door openings? Definitely shouldn't have that. This one has 2, which makes sense. Okay. So this one came from here, right? It has 2. So this one goes here. Okay. And this one has had it added back. Okay, so previously spawned rooms that add the range, right? So if it is a success, I don't add it back. But if it, say, had a problem, well, the main question is why did this one right? So this one was fine. This one I had here. So this one must have failed in some way because it removed polling points and the door connections. But the door connection is thing I'm randomly getting from previously spawned rooms stuff there, right? So basically, if I'm success, I'm keeping it out, right? So that should be fine. But if it's not a success, I'm adding it, and then I'm adding it back later. Because they'll stay there. But for some reason, this one, despite even having seemingly few navigation points connected to it, is not being nice. Okay, so I really should be signing off soon though. want to try to visualize what exactly is going wrong before. So this one, yeah, so this one, ooh. It actually found them. Got connected to the wrong door. So this one somehow connected over here, which then connected back over here because it was the wrong door. And then this one then connected down. Then this one connected. What? It just connected. Oh no, because this was here, right? So then it connected down. That actually, that logic there is fine. It's this part that broke because this guy rotated incorrectly, it appears, right? Because this door, looking over here, but it grabbed that door. What's this room's rotation here? Negative 180. So how could that have been? Because again, this room didn't get its navigation points, right? It only has front and back. This one did get them back somehow. Definitely gonna have to debug this a lot more. The fact that the thing that linked, it was the actual thing that linked it to was incorrect. The potential link, that part was wrong because basically removed the wrong one. I'll have to figure out why that. But yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't stay any longer because it's already late. I'm pretty sure the baby's up. I don't want to leave my wife to deal with them for too much longer. But we got spawning rooms, so that's cool. Next we'll be up to figuring out why this devil magic is happening. And then from there, trying to make it into better rooms, because definitely I don't want this shit happening. I want it to like try to keep as close, I guess, to the inner area as possible. So I'll probably have some logic for that too. Yeah, that'll be coming up next. Thanks for Hassan for joining, and whoever else has been here, if you have been. And I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.